making our way through this little shanty town, and we get to this one area where the shanty town kind of breaks up, kind of opens up a little bit. And I don't know about what they were, all the guys were thinking, but I was thinking, holy shit, this is not good.
Yeah.
This something's gonna happen right now because it's like ambush. I just felt this overwhelming thing, like we're getting ready to get ambushed. There were some times. There was one time we're going to this one target and we're following this one kid who was supposed to lead us to this one building where the bad guy was. It's in this little shantytown thing, and the guy had leading the squad. So he's the point man. So he's up front and making our way through this little shantytown, and we get to this one area where the shantytown kind of breaks up, kind of opens up a little bit. And I don't know about what they were, all the guys were thinking, but I was thinking, holy shit, this is not good.
Yeah.
This something's going to happen right now because it's like ambush. I just felt this overwhelming thing, like we're getting ready to get ambushed. And that's what I say now in my situational awareness classes. If you feel something, but you're not really seeing things, understand something's happening.
Yeah.
So
your gut's telling you the right thing.
Yeah, that was my thing back then. And apparently it was not just me. And I'm just wanting to get through this open area real quick and back into this little shantytown area where it gets nice and congested, and this is a mess. But the kid, he takes off, not running, but he took off around and disappeared into the shantytown. And they're just little narrow passageways. And they're irregularly just paths going through this little town, or literally cardboard, plywood.
Is it kind of like a
huts.
favela type setup where it's in like like the little huts and kind of like,
Yeah.
you can go from rooftop to rooftop, or the angle, like, there's small little narrow. Yeah.
It was just no method to the madness.
Mm-hmm.
And most of it was in, this is in Panama, and this is in a low ground in Panama. So there was a creek or a river or something like that. So it's also floods. So in the heavy rainy season, it floods. So everything's on some sort of elevated platform, not stilts, but they're off the deck. So the kid disappears, and my guy up front, he loses him. He's like, where did he just go? And so he stops the patrol. And I was like, he stops the patrol at the worst possible moment. We're in the middle of this open field. I'm thinking ambush. I'm getting ready to see tracer rounds flying out of the woods at us, right? And so I go up to the front. I was like, find out what's going on. I was like, hey, what's going on? And he's whispering. He's like, I can't do this. It's like, what do you mean you can't do this? You can't do what? Jeez. I was like, I lost the kid. And I don't know where he went. I can't. He thought he was going to lead us into something bad, because that's what he was like feeling. Like that kid just ran off, and if we run after him, I'm going to lead us into something bad. That's where his head was at. I was like, well, okay, well, I feel worse here than over there. So I was like, are you sure? And there wasn't time then to like, hey, who wants to take point, right?
Yeah.
It's like, so I was like, all right, hey, everybody get up, follow me. So I took the lead, and we went into the village and found the kid. The kid finally, as soon as we rounded the corner and got into this shantytown, the kid backed up, like, where'd you guys go? He backs up, looks around the corner, and it's like you little because he did that. We're all jacked up, ready to shoot something and get shot at, and he disappears. Then he pops back out. It's like, hey, over here. It's like, whoa, you little son of a bitch. And he's like, follow me. And so we follow him. He passes us through the target building, and we raid the target building, and we end up getting the guy. We got clown show at the door. That was funny shit happens when you're
what happened there?
So it was like, we rehearsed this hit in a nice sterile environment where we were staged, the whole battalion or company, whatever was there in this place, our staging area. So we're practicing breaching, door breaching, and all this other stuff. We don't have explosives, so we're not going to explosively breach anything. And the shantytown stuff, not that we weren't explicitly breaching because we don't do that. We don't have it. But if any explosives went off, you're talking about destroying a whole, like everything around it, that building plus all the ones around it. So it was a manual breach. So sledgehammers. So we're practicing that. We're practicing all, rehearsing and all this stuff before we go down there. And so when we get to this door, we're practicing on a flat surface with it's on the building that I chose on this facility was on the ground. Doorknobs at a normal doorknob height and all of this stuff for practicing and rehearsing. We get to this house, and this house is on stilts. So the level of the floor was probably chest level. Mm-hmm. And so now the door handle is above us. So, and it's plywood or, half-inch plywood. It was nothing. And a door that's just like tied together with some sort of twine or something. It's not a regular doorknob or anything like that, but the attachment device, it was just one of those little, like a hook into a little, like a shitty little gate kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, okay, well, this is our breach point, and everybody gets prepared around this door and the steps to go to this door. So it's maybe 3 or 4 steps, and they're made of waterlogged wood. So even to go up to the door, as I put one foot on the steps, you can feel it kind of giving a little bit. And so I was probably 200 pounds plus all of another 200 pounds of lightweight kit, right? It's like, so it's flexing. And I was like, okay. So I had my breacher. He comes up with a sledgehammer, and now he's got to swing the sledgehammer over his head to hit this locking mechanism to open the door. And he does. So we got security. He goes for the sledge on the door. The sledgehammer sticks in the door. But it sticks, but it opens the door. But the sledgehammer is stuck in the door, and it flies in with the door. And now it's like, okay, what the hell do we do now, right? And then it's like, let's go, right? But as soon as we start stepping on those steps, they're breaking and flexing. Yeah. So no more steps. We still got to get chest level. So then, all right, Rod did that immediately. I can't remember. It was probably the one I had breaching. I want to say that was Smitty, but so he goes right down on all fours. My back is now your step, right? Automatically. It's like, just like clockwork, just like we've always ever practiced it, right? So everybody starts stepping on him, and there's still, so a person, him on his knees is still, we still have another, 2.5, 3 feet to the bottom of the floor. So we're crawling into this thing, step on his back, crawling into this thing, going in, so it's nothing cool about, CQB, you go left, I'll go right. And we're just going to, start slaying people, slaying bad guys, right? It wasn't that at all. So we're crawling into this thing, and then, from the floor, laying down on the floor, just looking for targets, finally getting to our feet. And then most of the shanty towns are just like one rooms, one rooms with, there's a bed in the corner and a cooking something over here on a table, and it's all one thing. So this guy, when we went in, crashed this one door, and we go into this breach point. He ended up getting out the back, and guys wrapped him up when he was running out the back. So some of the other guys that were on security on that side of the facility got him when he ran out. But that's one of those things. It wasn't pretty. Yeah, we got the job done, right? And that was one of the things I said afterwards. Like, well, in a hot wash, critiquing our performance that night. It's like, okay, so at this point, yeah, okay, we could do this, that, and the other thing better.
I'm just imagining the door getting, like, the hammer getting stuck in the door and just being like, oh, shit.
Yeah. That is like a real no shit moment. That's what you say when that happens. Yeah. And it's like, well, what do you do now, right? Mm-hmm. All right, let's go.
So when you were down there, this is probably one of the first times you've seen a lot, especially with, having a lot of guys kind of working under you. Mm-hmm. Was there any like specific scenarios in terms of direct combat that stuck out where, I mean, that was obviously a great example as well, but just very stressful situation, whether that's, you know, guys either getting hit or anything like that. Like, was there any situation that stood out to you that within the combat there that was very, I guess, had pushed it to the limit in terms of your leadership ability and those guys like working under you?
Pushed it to the limit. How do you mean?
Just a scenario that, as you were saying, like people when they're under fire really show you who they really are. A lot of those guys that, have been working with for a while.
Yeah. So no, that was what, that's what I got out of this whole thing, right? So my guys didn't question anything like that I told them to do, because up to the point of that, it's like I was always telling them, it's like, this training, how do you convince them that's the right thing to do, right? This is going to help you if we ever get into combat, right? You never know. Even as a leader, before going into that situation myself, I don't know either. This is just what I think will help us, right? But no, they did everything I asked them to do without question, which we just had that level of, I guess, understanding, right? And they trusted what I said, trusted my leadership and my decisions and all that stuff. And I was never one to blame other things on leaders, right? Because you hear that too in the lesser disciplined units, right? Soldiers are complaining about the leaders, and I've heard that. Like, I'll say something, whatever it is, and it was something that I was told to tell the troops, right, from a lieutenant or a captain, and it's like, okay, that makes sense to me. I'll go tell them. And then I hear this, like, who said that? Like, in a kind of a sense, like, what dumbass would say something like that, right? But they say, well, who said that? And I said, I said it. You just heard me say it. I'm not going to say, well, this is Lieutenant somebody saying
with the pipeline.
I never did that. And then it shut him up right away. It's like, you just heard me say it. I just said it. Doesn't matter where it originated. I'm here telling you this. And so in my mind, I've already had that discussion if it was not the right thing to do with a lieutenant or a captain, whoever said that, right? Or even another senior NCO. It was like, I've already had that conversation. So I've already agreed in my mind, and this is the right thing to do, and I'm going to pass on the information. So it's not like I never said that, like lieutenant or captain said this. It's like, when you hear it coming out of my mouth, it's me saying it, and you're doing it. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. It's that time. So that's the grunt life, right? Too. It's like, it's me saying it and you doing it. Don't ask no questions. It's too late. You're already down so low on the totem pole. Trust me when I say those conversations already happened, and now it's just you executing.
Yeah, even if I don't like it, if I'm saying it, we're doing it.
Yeah. So I got to that point with my guys that, that's the way it was. And so they trusted that a conversation, I'm not just going to do what somebody told me to do. If it's the right thing to do, absolutely, sure. But I've already had those discussions. I've already done my job as their leader to have those talks. And so I got to that point, which that was one of the things I think I've heard it, my similar guys in my same level of leadership were saying, hey, they don't want to be the bad guy, right? So they're like, hey, just do it because Lieutenant or Captain so-and-so wants it done.
Yeah.
I never did that. So, and so subsequently I had guys who were attached to me too, because I was at this one, our first assignment, the first night on the ground was to defend repel the counter assault of the Battalion 2000 coming down our road, right? It's like, what, me and my 8 guys?